build it back up a little bit, right? So as long as we're here experimenting, I'm going to keep experimenting. I'm not recommending that members take this trade unless you know what the risk is. It has not worked that great. So I would not trade it in a funded account by any means. And cash, no. Trade the best of the best setups. You know, the MNQ Open, the RTY Open, YM Magnets on the Open. You don't have to take the extra risky trades. Just keep that in mind. We're here, so I'm going to keep experimenting with them. So I'm going to add my breakout. It seems like the day is coming where we'll just start right when oil opens and we won't even bother with it. I mean, I think that's ultimately what's going to happen because it's such a difficult event to make money on. So I'll load my 9 o'clock template, oil new open, we call it. Yesterday it had a full stop. Oil new open, right click it and rename it today's date, and we'll load it. 8:59:59 is the trigger. I'm putting the time on 0 because we'll check our bracket. Now I'd use a little bit smaller bracket of 20 this morning. If it doesn't fill right away, I will probably cancel it. The targets of 8 and 20 with a stop of 25. Under optional, your vertical line on entry is unchecked. Target one stop move BE for break even. Let me put the time. I'm going to just save this template one more time. Hang on. Oil new open. Okay. Put the time on 0. Let's see what the bracket looks like. Right now, we're on sim, which is where we want to be. Put the chart on sim so we see the orders. Spread the chart a bit.
Order submitted.
All right, so that's a manageable bracket size.
Order canceled.
We'll give it a shot. Click strategy, highlight the breakout, put the time back to 8:59:59, and our setup 20 on the bracket. Target 1 is 8, target 2 is 20, stop at 25. Target 1 stop move break even on optional, no vertical line on entry, apply it. And I'll trade it in account number 45. That's where my oil trades are this morning. Apply it and okay it. Put the chart trader on 45. We're down, what, 10 bucks in this account. Oil breakout open. Okay. YM magnets. So the YM has retraced from these markets. It might be smart to wait for the open this morning because of uncertainty, right? RTY, we haven't done anything yet. Let's wait for oil to open. Today, there's no extra news reports. Maybe we'll stick around a little bit after the open, a few minutes to look at signals. So Bullinox is saying they're not responsible for the data failure. They're putting it on Ninja, and they're just waiting for Ninja to respond. I think I'm going to have to trade. I haven't been trading those accounts because I wanted them reinstated. I don't think that's going to happen. So I think I have to trade those accounts so they don't get terminated. So I might just take a little scalp in both of those funded accounts until I hear from them. I wanted to hear from them, but I don't think they're going to do anything.
So mine are short expecting US Red Book year on year.
Probably not worth fighting about anymore. It didn't blow the account up, but it took $400 unfairly. And it was really the principal. That's what I've been fighting, the principal. Not that it blew it up or anything like that. It didn't. Ninja always says that. Or the other thing Ninja always will say, it's your software. And I could not copy the Ninja script output because the platform was frozen. I couldn't get access to it. So I couldn't even get the programmer to look at the output for his opinion. Because he'll admit it if it's a program issue, a software issue. He'll say, hey, the software just couldn't keep up with the speed of the market, or
According to New York Times,
something
software
of that
appeared at
sort
IBM
is
panels in New
possible.
York.
He's honest. He's not gonna. He doesn't have to cover his butt. We've been using him for 10 years. We're not firing him, and he knows it.
The effective Fed
I
fund
just
rate
think there should be
unchanged at
somebody should take
3.62%.
responsibility. It was not our error. And
Order submitted.
watch oil. So to me, this is not a good open. It's not bursting. It's staying where it is, pretty close. I don't think I want to be filled long anymore. It's made a retrace.
US Red Book year on year,
You don't know what's
5%,
going to happen. So
5%.
it's best to just cancel this. We didn't get a burst. We waited 30 seconds, and I'm perfectly fine canceling the open. All right? 35 seconds.
Order canceled.
It's not a high risk reward setup, so I'll take away the open. It could still move, and you could say to yourself, "Oh, I should have taken it. Oh, I should have taken it." But when I want to, what I find are the best opens are when it bursts, hits your target pretty quick. Now, of course, it's going to explode up after a full minute. Okay. Normally, we don't wait a full minute. So it decided to finish retracing, which, I'm no genius. I just can't read. I don't know. You don't know. So, yes, of course, now I'm aggravated I didn't take it. But to wait a full minute, we had a 20 tick bracket at 9 o'clock. The price was in this area here. So it would have been a good, if you waited a minute, a little bit less than a minute, it started moving in that 50-second area. It would have worked. Now, how do you know? You don't know that this move is exhausted, right? Before it gets to the open, it's gone up 71 ticks. It's a pretty good retrace. Not a fantastic retrace, but it was pretty positive news also, right? I didn't get in, Maureen, so I didn't take the trade one way or the other. I canceled it. It never It didn't hit my order before I canceled. So it's still retracing. And then you've got to retrace from this little move up. So it's extremely difficult to trade oil. Even when oil, before the war, for a little while, the oil was trading okay. We had a range trade that was working. And that trade just stopped working. So normally you don't get a burst. It's a little bit, who knows? Is it pent up orders? I don't know. I think retail traders, I don't see, I think in this case, it's just a difficult open to gauge what direction the market might go. You had a big retrace, 71 ticks. You had a quiet open, it just chopped a little bit. So you cancel it and then you get a burst. It's hard to know that that's going to happen. And it wasn't like volume was even going up, right? So it went up on the open, which is normal. So, yeah, it's frustrating because you're always playing woulda, shoulda, coulda. Would have made a bunch of money, could have made a bunch of money, should have done this. But at the moment, you're trying to be smart. And sometimes you get it wrong. Unfortunately, when I get it wrong, I look unbelievably stupid because not only am I in the room in front of all of you, but we're also on the internet. And no, just scalp and run is not a good thought because what if you scalp and run the wrong way and it goes against you? It might not go to a higher high because oil's negative over $4.40 on news that this war might be having an agreement. So it's really hard. If you scalp right now, right? What direction are you going to scalp? It's negative $4.50 almost. You don't know that the retrace is going to continue long. You just don't know it. So, you take a scalp, right? Just for fun, we'll put it on sim. And don't forget, if you're going to scalp and your software is not on sim, you're going to trade in your real account. So you have to change your reverse continues setup and make sure you put that on sim also so you don't accidentally put yourself in a trade you might not want to be trading. So putting the reverse continue on scalp. So hey, I'm looking at oil right now. I'm looking at oil. Oh, I think I might want to scalp. Scalp it long.
Order submitted.
Just for fun. Let's see what happens. So you scalp it, one position, one target. So this morning, it looks like you still have positive momentum. So oil still has positive momentum on the squeeze. Volume is so-so, nothing great. YM, RTY look like they're a little bit back to negative. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is the scalp at this moment, it's kind of going to be hit or miss. It's going to be hit or miss. It's hard to scalp when an
Spot
instrument
gold falls
has
2%.
been so affected by news. Scalping is hard to begin with. So just having a little fun scalping. You know, you could barely get out at the moment. Now you have about 5 ticks, 3 ticks. All right, so just showing what could happen. Now look, maybe you scalped it short. Maybe you thought that the retrace was over, right?
Order canceled.
I'm just going to
Order
close out.
filled.
All right, so let's change our oil chart becomes an MNQ chart now. MNQ 0626 for the open. So let me reset my SIM to 0 by going to accounts, highlighting my SIM 101, right clicking it, edit the account, reset the account, and yes it. And OK. And it sets my SIM back to 0. All right, so we have our YM reverse continue is set up. One position with a 35 tick target and a 35 tick stop. And the YM is labeled YM reverse continue. And we're trading it in account number 44 on the YM. All right, so our reverse continue is set up. And then we have our YM magnet, which we set up every morning. High of day, low of day. Position 1 is one contract, -3 ticks. That's the normal default target. Second position, one contract, target of 15. So if it goes through our magnet by 15 ticks, you'll get your second position filled. And our stop is 40. Target 1 stop move is break even. And I'm not programming the buttons at the moment because we have a reverse continue on the chart. We can use that for any of the scalping at the moment. So label it YM magnet, choose the correct account you're going to trade it on, apply it and OK it. And so now you can turn on your YM magnet, turn on your YM reverse continue. You can adjust your entry where you feel your entry should be. My entry is going to be above 80 for a long, below 20 for a short. All right. Right now I'm just watching the YM. Let's move over to the RTY. Put our reverse continue on the RTY. Change the breakout to a reverse continue, one position. Also a 35 target, a 35 stop. Label it RTY reverse continue. And I've got to figure out what account to trade my RTY in this morning. So yesterday, remember what happened? I tried to trade the RTY in a small account, 29. Remember I got an error? I don't know if you remember. It said it couldn't trade that many contracts. And then remember what happened? I didn't know that it filled. I didn't think it did because it got an error that it couldn't place the orders. Turned out that it filled, and that order sat long, all day long, making $1,400 when I realized that the order filled. So there's a good rule of thumb you may want to follow if you're a prop trader. Let's say you're a rhythmic trader, especially if you ever get an error of any kind, a software error of any kind, a ninja error. Load up your RTY Pro if you're not having it loaded up while you're trading, because sometimes things don't appear in Ninja the way they appear in RTrader Pro. RTrader Pro is the final word. If there's an order open in RTrader Pro and it doesn't show up in Ninja and it blows up your account, too bad on you. It's on you to open your RTrader Pro and make sure you don't have any hanging orders. So usually what I'll do is if I get an error, then I'll open my RTrader. I just don't have enough screen space to stream on YouTube, to stream the trade room, to trade, to do everything. So I don't open my RTrader. A lot of people say you should have your RTrader open while you're trading. So if an error occurs, you could close your orders immediately if that's what you need to do. So I'm not making that decision for you, but I'm telling you what is helpful. Okay? So that's why I'm trying to decide. I'm waiting. So I'm just trying to decide where to trade this RTY. I was thinking of trading it in that 29 account that now is halfway to being funded. I think this morning what I'm going to do is just trade it in one more day. If I don't hear from Bullinox, I'll go back to normal trading tomorrow with all my funded accounts. So we'll do it in 45 this morning. RTY will be in 45 along with the MNQ because there's enough contracts to trade both. So our reverse continue, we'll put it in 45. It's labeled RTY reverse continue. Apply it and OK it. 45. So one thing I was thinking about. So there are different types of accounts. You might have an account that only allows 3 large futures, minis. We trade minis and micros. So minis we call large, right? Now let me set up the trades because time is passing, and then I'll talk more about some of the things I was going to explain. If someone reminds me to talk about the 3 contract versus 7, in case I forget. So RTY reverse continue, our main trade on RTY, and it relates to this whole concept, is our range trade. So we're going to put a range trade on, and I'm going to set it up from scratch this morning. So range start time. First thing, go down to optional. Show vertical line on entry. Uncheck it. Uncheck it. We don't need the line. Range start time. 9:29. 9:25. Sorry. It's a 5-minute range. 9:25:00. 6 ticks above the range, 6 ticks below the range. Show the graphics on chart. We're going to end the range at 9:30:00. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1, target 1 is 10 ticks, target 2 is 20 ticks, and I usually use a stop of 35, and target one stop move. If it hits my first target, we'll move to break even. That's our range trade. Label it RTY range and choose the account you're trading it. And I said I was going to trade it in 45. And I'll put a magnet on the RTY also. So we have our range trade. The range trade has been our main RTY morning trade for many, many months. It's been a good, solid trade. Magnet lets you watch for signals after the open. So high of day, low of day, right now it's off. It'll generate signals when it says off. Position one, I'll do 2 contracts on our magnet. 1 position. Default stop, -3. Stop, 35. Scroll down, gonna label it RTY magnet. And we said 45 on our RTYs. That's the account. Apply it, okay it, turn on the mag. All right. Turn on our range, which is on. So we're ready to go on the RTY. Make sure we're on the correct account. We said 45. And we are. And you can check in your control panel, are all your RTY trades on account 45? If you have to spread your line by holding the left mouse button and making the line a little bit wider so you could see the names, do that. All right, so our RTY is ready. That was a VWAP short signal. You know, you have to decide if you're going to trade signals before the open. Usually a signal at 9 o'clock is not a terrible signal. It's not terrible to take a 9 o'clock signal because you have a half an hour before the open. And then our MNQ setup, first things first, we have a CL magnet left over from the MNQ chart. So let's convert that into an MNQ magnet. The CL magnet, highlight it, and we'll just change the settings. High of day, low of day we'll put on. 2 contracts, position 1. Default -3 on the target, and we'll do 75 ticks. On the stop, default -3 on the target. Now, if you're going to program the buttons, so what does it mean to program the buttons? If you look at the YM and look at the control panel of the magnet. Now, first thing, I'm going to put the magnet on auto. If the YM decides to fill short, I'm going to let it. Realizing, of course, I could get stuck in a burst up on War News. But it's been selling off. That's what it was doing before the news. It's risky because of that, but it's a normal open still, so I'm going to trade it like the normal. Going back to our magnet on the MNQ, high of day, low of day, a couple of contracts, 1 position, -3 on our default target, 75 stop, it's only 50 cents a tick. And I was talking about programming the buttons. If you get a signal, the ARS enter now button will activate. And if you want to take the trade from that signal, you have to program the ARS management. That programs the button. So position 1, how many contracts? Target 1, how many ticks? Position 2, if you want a position 2, target 2, how many ticks? That's how you program the ARS enter now button with ARS management. And then there's also a built-in reverse continue in the magnet trade. For people who don't have any of our other software, you could still trade reverse continues. And it's pretty much self-explanatory. How many contracts for position 1, position 2, what's your stop? Default is now 1 contract, 35 target, 35 stop. So even if you forget to program the button, that's a reasonably safe setup with most instruments. And then we're going to change it to an MNQ magnet. All right. Now MNQ, of course, we would make a bigger stop if we were going to program the buttons. But I like trading off of the reverse continue button. I'm perfectly fine with my external reverse continue. MNQ magnet, apply it, and we're on account 45. Okay. So we have our magnet. I'm not changing the chart trader yet. I'm going to set up our breakout. That's our main trade on the MNQ. News trader, breakout. I'm going to load my template. MNQ new open. MNQ new open. There it is. Right click it, rename it today's date, 5/27, load it. Loading it saves it and brings in the setup. 9/29/59 is our trigger. I like the 30 bracket. 20 and 100, target 1 and 2, 20 and 100, stop of 125, and a target 1 stop move of BE for break even. Trading this in account 45 this morning. It's labeled already because I loaded the template. Put it on account 45. Say you want to save a template, apply it, go to template, save, type MNQ new open, and date it today. And you now have a template after you press save. That's how you create a template to load it back in. It's easy. So I've got my account chosen. Everything is ready. We're going to check the bracket and put the account back on sim because we want to see how wide is that bracket. With the time set to 0, we're going to trigger the bracket. If we turn on the
Order
breakout,
submitted.
it's a little tight.
Order
Okay, I
canceled.
like a little wider bracket to manage the trade. You can check it again.
Order submitted.
All right.
Order canceled.
Right click, highlight the breakout, put the time to 9/29/59. That's our open. Our bracket's 30. 20 is target 1, 100 is target 2. BE, target 1 stop move, break even if the first target gets hit. And now I'll put my software, we said 45 on the MNQ opens, apply it, okay it, put the chart trader on 45, and we need to put our reverse continue on the MNQ. Strategy, news trader, change the breakout to reverse continue. Couple of contracts, 75 target, 75 stop, only 1 position on the scalp. If I take it, MNQ reverse continue is the label. Put the account on 45. That's where our MNQ trades, our setups exist. Apply it and okay it. You're not trading all these setups at once. So I will turn on the MNQ magnet first because the breakout's going to fill. It's not going to give me time to adjust the bracket. Then I'll turn on the breakout and then the reverse continue. getting some sell-off. We often get this pre-trade volatility 5 minutes before the market opens. It's very normal. What I was talking about before is there's different types of prop accounts. You could have a account that allows you to trade three
Voice news disconnected.
minis or seven minis is the most popular with Bullinox, for instance. And I think it's the same of Apex, similar with a lot of them. They offer end of day where they won't stop you from trading in the middle of the day. They calculate your profits and losses at the end of the day. And then most of the accounts that we use in Bullinox
1 minute
are
remaining for the market on
if
open
you
and
hit your
balance.
daily drawdown, it'll stop you from trading anymore that day. Those accounts generally give you seven minis to trade. And then there's also, those are usually 50K accounts, which is not real. They're not $50,000 accounts. The drawdown is the size of the account. So let's say you're buying a prop account and the drawdown is $2,500. That's the size of the account. It's not a $50,000 account. I don't know why they don't just call it what it is. I think they think people will be too scared. But
10
if all
seconds.
you're allowed to lose is $25,000 or say 3,000 maximum, then it's a 25. Here we go.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Market on open
Order
and balance.
filled.
S&P 500 buy side 33 million. Nasdaq
Order
100
filled.
sell side
RTY, I'm
26
trying to
million.
trail
Dow 30
down
buy side 27 million. Mag
because I
7 sell
noticed.
side 6 million.
Now I got too close probably. If it doesn't chop, I'm trying to trail. Maybe to the low would make sense here because of the way the market's behaving. No other reason. The RTY does a lot of lows on the opens, it seems. We see quite a few of those. So I'm just trailing it to try and maximize my profit here. I manage the RTY, not my MNQ, because it's more profit in the RTY.
Order filled.
All right, so RTY had a nice move there. YM, nothing has happened yet. Okay. Now I made a mistake this morning on the YM, and I was thinking of trading the VWAP as our level because we're too far from the highs and lows. So that was a mistake.
Micron
And
rise
it's partly, I'm not
6.7% at the open
blaming,
to bring 2-day gain to
saying that I'm stupid,
27%.
but three setups, sometimes you just lose track of something you were thinking about. And I was thinking about the VWAP and lost track of it, getting the other setups going. Nice, Alan. My MNQ, ironically, just hit one target only. And then I could see that it hit target one, reversed for a small profit. Alan's did not. It looks like Alan maybe didn't move your stop as much as I did. Now the RTY, it still looks like it may want to test the low. Let's get rid of some of the setups we don't need. The breakout MNQ is done. I'm removing that. The RTY, I don't really need the range. Sometimes I like to watch the range to see where the price is. Because when the range trade is over, you can still see the range, where it was. We could have done a PP YM setup. It would not have been unreasonable. It's too late now. We were too close. So I'll let the YM, if it decides to make a new high, I'll let that trade fill because it's on auto. If it decides to do that, I'll let it trade. So I don't need the RTY range set up anymore. All right, we're still below the range. I wouldn't surprise if we get a bunch of chop now. Nice, Nit. Which account? Which account? Which company? Now, this would have been a signal to ignore because it was like a minute before the open. So the MNQ signal would not have been a signal I would have taken. RTY, we have not tested a level that generates signals, so we will not get an RTY signal. YM, I definitely goofed by not trading. Remember I said we were about 40 ticks away from the VWAP down in here, and then I just lost track of it. That would have been a good magnet. Now MNQ, we're just far from our lows here. I don't think I think we're too far on the MNQ to get anywhere. The YM, it could test the high. Now it's been a big move up on the open. It's funny, Frank, my MNQ did not. What's your setup, Frank? What's your bracket and your targets and your stop? I'll compare it to mine. Sometimes someone can use the exact same setup that I'm using, and you could still have a different trade because your orders go on your charts at a different time than my orders go on my charts. It's just what happens. Now, is the RTY going to do its magnet? That's a little far, but you might want to let the magnet fill. If you want to take the shot, again, it's a big move. It's a big move. You know, it's been selling off from quite a bit above it. So you never know where your exhaustion level is.
Order submitted.
So it fills the RTY test of the low. It may not work if it doesn't get
Order
there,
filled.
and boom, it just exploded there. That was like the fastest magnet of the West, right? So does that mean you want to let your MNQ trade the low? Look at the size of the move, though. The MNQ has sold off so much that I don't necessarily trust it to make the low. We're up 329 bucks in that account. You don't have to take that trade if you don't want to. There's no law that says you have to take it. I mean, it's interesting. The YM did not work, did not get to the high. The RTY, the fastest, one of the fastest magnets we've seen. I guess I'll let the MNQ do the test, right? It should get there. So just watching and waiting to see if the MNQ keeps dropping. So it was up quite a lot on the news, and it sold off all of that news. What I think would be a more interesting trade, let it test the low. I mean, I'll let it trade. And if we get a long signal on the MNQ, I would take it. Now, I'd be pretty darn surprised if the YM goes all the way back down to the low. That I don't expect. The MNQ is chopping around before it tests the low. Okay, Paul, have a great one. RTY is going to generate a long signal here. Very, very, very big stop. It's going to be a very big stop. I probably would not take it. I prefer when the signal is much closer to the low. There's the signal. Might be glad I didn't take it. There is a lot of downward
Order
pressure
submitted.
on these instruments. Now you got to move your stop above that candle wick at least on the MNQ. If it tests the low, I want that MNQ long entry. Now, if this trade doesn't work, it came like 5 ticks away from testing the low. It came very close. Second shot should do it. Should do it.
Order
There
filled.
it is. Now, if we get a long on the MNQ, I'll take that signal. I will take the signal. So I'm waiting. I'd love for it to chop, not be a giant move up before the signal generates. See the RTY. Now, the only hesitation is the markets have gotten negative, other than the YM, which is still positive. If the YM gets to the low, it looks like it'll be in negative territory. Nice, Roz. Very nice trading. Now, you can get another signal on the RTY that it's made another new low, right? Now the MNQ is going to generate a signal. We don't know. There's the signal.
Order submitted.
I'll take it. Stop fairly below the low. All right, fairly below the low. And look, momentum went against us the minute we took the signal. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's going to make
Order
another
filled.
low. So there's going to be another signal. Now I'm going to wait. Now I'm going to wait. So this thinking that the reason I was interested, because the markets was so bullish before the open. Obviously, they've gotten quite a bit more negative. There's no doubt they've gotten pretty negative. Now, that is not our signal. That's a ninja signal. That little tiny arrow is not our signal. Now you have to, we're just not sure if it's done making new lows. So you could do the 3-4 candle wait after a signal, or you could risk your profits. It's a prop account. Now it's down 100 points almost, the MNQ. It's down 100. It's gotten very negative. Very negative.
JP Morgan shares extend decline to 3.3%.
So it's making lows still. It's going to generate another signal. Not our favorite signal because it's so far from the low. The stop has to be so big. I might not want to give back all my profits this morning. There's the signal. Would have been a big, it would be negative immediately if you took it. I think I'm going to wait the 3 or 4 candle rule if I even consider it. The market's just too heavy. Market's heavy. It's just signal and fail, signal and fail. RTY signal not working either. So the whole thought that maybe that news, the war news, was good is not holding up. So I'll keep my profits from this open and probably wait till tomorrow. But let's watch for a few more minutes. YM, it's now kind of chopping in the middle. We missed our best opportunity on the YM. My mistake. The VWAP was the trade on the YM. So now notice that signal totally failed. But it's tested the low again. How many new lows is it going to make? So what does the market know that we don't? What does the market know that we don't? Is this another fake agreement? This was a pretty big sell-off at the open. It gave up everything, everything. So I'm not going to jump into longs here. It feels too heavy. But we could watch for a couple of minutes. MNQ is going to generate another signal. I can't believe it's down 100 points. It was up, what, 160 at least. So just watching, just watching. So there's a signal again, and immediately on the signal, big, not big sell-off, but not a follow-through. Not yet. I mean, this could be the one that works. You don't know. It's a problem. It's not that it's a problem. It's the nature of making new highs and new lows. You're a little bit far from, your stop's pretty big because the signal is a big candle. So I'll probably wait on that one. Let's see how it develops. This is the first one that's actually had a second candle that looked like it was going to be decent. Let's watch.
At 10 a.m. Eastern Time, we have the Richmond Fed
Definitely
Composite
looking
Index
better.
forecast for
It's all whether or
higher
not you want to
freight.
risk your profits.
Order submitted.
Do a small stop. You could do a small stop, below the second candle. You could do below the second candle. And you still have momentum, but you don't have price going with you. Now you do have the YM moving up. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get our first target. It's all our only target. Maybe we'll get the trail. You never know. We could expand our target. See if we get an opportunity to trail. You need more than that. Expand our target. Okay, now we can't lose. So now you could just expand your target nice and fat. Try not to be greedy with your trail. And if you survive, I was going to go to the bottom of the candle. Try to be patient, a little bit patient.
Order filled.
All right, so we got about 50 on that scalp. 32, I think it says. Big, big swinging candles, right? Looks like the MNQ might be pushing up now, finally. See, that signal is not our signal. It's just, that's where the trade executed. That's what that signal is saying. That little tiny arrow is not our signal. YM generated a VWAP signal.
Order submitted.
So my stop would be really below that structure. It's a lot of stop. It's a lot. I don't think I want to risk all that much. Let's see if we can get to the PP. The YM was very bullish for a while, and this will be my last trade. Now the stop, it should be a little bigger. I'm trying to make it a little bigger without getting stopped. But at least below the candle, that one candle, give it a tiny bit of room to breathe here. It's a profit count. Life isn't going to end if it doesn't work. Now there is a small, not very impactful report at 10. Richmond Manufacturing, right? Richmond Manufacturing. So a scalp of the PP, you might as well move your stop. Let's give it a little room before we trail. If we can't trail, then we can't trail. If it'll push up from here, we might be able to trail if you want to. 10 o'clock, I was saying there's Richmond. I don't want to get stopped yet. I think it is going to go up a bit. All right, now we can go to safety and see if we can trail a bit. Expand your YM. Let it go up. No matter what, you can't lose now because you're in profit. It broke the PP. Above the PP now. Expand your target.
According to Mayor News Agency, fire breaks out in administrative building at Amman, Khomeini's airport near Iran, capital
Bottom
Tehran.
of the candle, almost, not quite.
So reminder in 5 minutes time we have the Richmond Fed Comp Index forecast for prior 3.
Now you want to expand your target to the high of day. Right? Are we going to get to the high of day? I'm not doing a magnet because I'm already in a trade. It's very far away.
Order filled.
All right, not a bad trade though. Almost $200 on a little baby scale. A scalp, one contract. That was a good signal. Now, it was a VWAP signal. I kind of like when I get a VWAP signal under the VWAP and it's a long. And that way your stop is really small. It could be right under the VWAP. Now, this particular one I took pretty late though. I did take it pretty late. I think it's going to test the high. I think it's going to test the high. That's what it's looking. However, look, we have this Richmond trade. Let me show you why Richmond doesn't do anything, and it's almost always not even on time. Let me show you Richmond, because it is interesting. Richmond Manufacturing never trades by itself. Never. I don't think I've ever seen it trade. Maybe once or twice. So Richmond Services and Manufacturing. That's the trade. That's what it's called. 9 times out of 10, it comes out early, and it does not affect the market. Usually, now I'm done with my trades. All right, I'm done at the moment. So I'm going to, in the middle, we have YM. Normally, I would trade gold on Richmond. So gold, GC08. Gold, by the way, rolled 826 on gold. Don't forget that, 826 on gold. Now, we had a YM put a breakout. If I was going to do anything on Richmond, it might be a quick breakout. It's a 10 o'clock event. 9:59, 59. You got to use at least a 20 bracket on gold. Let's say a 12 target, a 25 target, a 25 stop. target one stop move, break even. I'm not going to have time, I don't think, to set up. I'm only simming it. GC breakout. It's on sim. It's on sim. All right, that's all we're going to do is the gold breakout for Richmond. I don't know how big that bracket's going to be. We'll see. All right, so watch the news. This is what's interesting. What's interesting with the Richmond news is watch it come out early. Now, I could be wrong, but I'd say about 80, 90% of the time, Richmond comes out early. We see it all the time.
One minute remaining.
1 minute, theoretically, until Richmond comes out. I do not believe that gold will move much on the report. Now, gold's down $78. So if gold moves to the downside, it's hard to know for sure what the heck is even going on with gold because it's so volatile. It's $78. I remember the days where gold being down $78, it just didn't. It would have been on the news. It was such a big deal. Now, look, I'm being made to look dumb. Richmond's not early. I would expect it would be out by now.
10 seconds.
And it's not. So today it's not early.
Order submitted.
There's our brackets.
Order submitted.
Now, we were filled before the news came out. This is a non-news trade.
Still waiting on the data.
The data is not out. Now it's late. All right, today it's late. This is a random trade that has no meaning. Okay, put the breakout back on.
Order submitted.
See if the data comes out. This is just sim, folks. Use the adjust button. See if we can last until the data comes out. But look how volatile gold is.
13, higher than the forecast.
Now it's out.
Order submitted.
The news is way better than expected. There wasn't really a news move.
The FDIC
from
says US
that
banking
news that
asset
you
quality
could
generally
ascertain
favorable.
as being a real
US
move.
banking industry.
So
NIM
you
strength
couldn't
in
have traded that
in
this
Q1,
morning
funding
just due
costs
to the
rose.
volatility of gold.
Order
It would have
canceled.
been an
The
untradeable
FDIC says US
trade.
banking asset quality generally
So
favorable.
I wouldn't have tried to trade it, really, to tell you honestly. I wasn't interested
and
in
unrealized
trading
Q1 losses
it.
at
Because
US
we
banks
know the
rose as
history
mortgage
of
rates
Richmond.
jumped.
It's not
US
reliable,
lenders Q1
and
loan
it
growth
generally
rose
doesn't move the
7.1%
market.
from a year
I mean,
earlier,
gold
according
is
to the
just
FDIC,
chopping around.
and US banking operating
It's
revenue
not
rose
really
on
a
non-interest income.
news chop. It's just gold chopping because it's
Order filled.
volatile. All right? But I just wanted to show you. Usually it's early. It wasn't early today. It makes me look foolish, but that's okay. Okay, I want to thank everybody on YouTube for joining us this morning. Quick recap. MNQ, most people had phenomenal trades. We had a target one winner, and then we had a magnet that worked on the MNQ. We had a signal one initial failure, then a signal two winner. YM, we had a signal winner. RTY, we had a winning range trade, and then we traded a short scalp for the low of day. So overall, a very decent market open, and everybody's typing in they had a great market open. Thanks on YouTube. We'll see you tomorrow morning. I'm going to end the stream. Hit the like button. We do have a webinar tomorrow. Let me post the link for everyone. Little bit different. We're going to talk about trading breakouts on the news, which we never do at our webinars. And we'll talk about the market open because the market open is so interesting all the time. Here's the link. And I'll put the link in our chat for anybody that wants to come to the webinar tomorrow, 1 o'clock. All right, everybody. We have an afternoon room. We have a 3:40. We have an earnings. Let's look at the schedule. What is it? Is it CrowdStrike? Synopsys, we've never looked at. That I just noticed they were trading very close to CrowdStrike. I believe CRM is CrowdStrike. Is that right? ZS, that was lousy, just like we kind of thought, Roz. Not a good earnings play. It was just really a test. I didn't really think. No, Salesforce. CRM is Salesforce, and it should be at 401. Now I noticed Marvel and HP. We had them on a different day. They're today. It looks like. Now I swear they changed the days. So I'll probably just trade CRM because it's the first one. CRM will be the first one. I'll definitely try it. We've traded it before. Salesforce. I'll double check my notes and I'll do last minute research. And if it's worth taking, I'll take it. But no, ZS. So one thing you can do that's kind of interesting is really very simply, you can type into Google, will CRM earnings move the futures markets? Salesforce, and it's really good with AI because we get these interesting answers now that we didn't used to get, can influence the broader futures markets, particularly the NAS. And then it goes into exact factors. Now, when we did the same thing with ZS, Zscaler, whatever the heck the name is, it was the opposite. It said, no, we don't expect it to move the markets because it's just not that important. So Salesforce is different. It can. And we have traded it before, so we'll triple check our previous results, and we'll check it out. All right, goodbye on YouTube. I forgot to close it.